Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Club Cool podcast. I am your host, Barrett Dudley, brought to you by Washed Media. I'm in the lodge. I'm in the studio. I'm back at it. It's October, and I'm joined across the table. He's back, too. It's Mr. Phil Battaglia. What's good, Phil?
I'm back.
He's back, baby. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? How's the week been, man?
It's been good. It's been pretty busy.
Just getting into all sorts of deals and
We're making deals.
Are you ABCing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, almost.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah. Are you've got on one of your Mount Rushmore items today? Classic cashmere crew sweater.
This is my deal sweater.
Is that your? I was about to say, is that your house showing sweater?
It is.
Yeah. So you go. You don't do. I don't get the sense that Austin real estate agents they don't suit up.
No, I haven't encountered that.
Yeah.
Well, I take that back. There's been one dude that showed us a house, listing agent, assistant. It's usually the assistants that'll go over the top.
They're trying to make an impression.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want you to know that they're here for business.
They're dead serious.
They're dead serious. This is gravely. This is
important.
A grave matter. Gravely important. Please see me in my suit. Yeah, it's a casual city no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's also so damn hot. I was lulled into a false sense of fall late last month.
Yeah.
We got that weird September weather. September usually very hot. We got some cooler days. I was like, "Oh, we're done. We're out of the 90s, baby."
They're back.
It's back now. Middle of October, high 90s. It was a big week for me for dealing with questions that we got from our listeners about, like, dude, when it's middle of October, it's fall. It is fall, but it's like 89 today. Like, what do you do about that?
What was all the more depressing is that ACL would have been going on during that perfect weather stint.
Oh, dude, yes, yes, it would have.
Yeah.
And then inevitably one of the weekends has crappy weather, and it would have been the second one, which was too hot. So today I decided to get to feel snazzy a little bit. So I just went all black, but I'm in shorts and a camp collar.
I support all black.
You know, it's that's like we talked about color. So I just neutraled it all up. Like it's a more summery fit, but it's all black. It's black and white. It's kind of it's Halloweeny, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Polka dots are spooky.
Yes.
But yeah. So,
are you doing Halloween? What are y'all doing?
I have no idea.
You love Halloween.
I do. It's.
No plans.
I just keep checking off the things that the year has ruined, and Halloween's just another one of them.
You could maybe put a fit together though.
Yeah.
For the kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, we got a good show for you today. We'll talk about a few things up top here, just kind of random tidbits and such. That is literally what I've named my segment of randomness over on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, and I've clearly used the word so often that now they're just entering my daily lexicon here on the pod. And then we've got a pressing topic here that's going to make up the middle of the podcast. We got to talk about all the fakes and reps that are going on because this world goes far deeper than I had realized.
I had no idea. And
I've just now been, over the last few weeks, I've been clued in to some of the stuff that is happening on the web with various fakes and reps and homages, and it bubbled up on the Discord where there were some sandals being shown, and then like it was revealed that this site not only is like doing their own sandals, but is just like knocking off a bunch of other ones. And one of the companies that we're going to talk about actually just got sued by Nike today, which I was surprised that they hadn't. So
Good.
it's just real crazy, and then we'll follow all that up with a little talk about women's style as well. I've had a couple of requests to talk about some women's trends, which I'm going to do my best at. I am admittedly every time I guess I should follow more female bloggers on Instagram, but I don't know. I'm always a little bit.
It's hard to follow everything.
What happens, and we'll obviously get there, is that I just think that all of the trends that are happening in women's wear are just the same ones that are happening in men's. I look at the stuff that's going on, and I'm like, oh yeah, that just looks like the men's stuff. But back to your fit. You also, I comment on this all the time. You're just in another like random perfect hat that's like super local, and it's like you're being a better Austin guy than me because there's nothing like Really, when I see hats like that, I automatically assume that the Austin guy's rich. So you're putting out big rich vibes.
Great.
Is what is the first thing that I'll tell you.
I'm not. So you're wrong on that front.
It's just like, I don't know. I don't know if people in other cities feel this way, but there's like, I'll see people in these hats that are clearly very local. I remember being in Las Vegas once for a trade show, and the dude that was like he was in the C-suite. He was some type of marketing exec or like the CEO of Hudson Denim was at the bar. Mm-hmm. And I recognized everything that he had on. He was wearing like Rick Owens Geo Baskets or Ramones and like a Givenchy flannel and then like his Hudson jeans. Mm-hmm. And then he had on this like craft brewery trucker hat from San Diego. And like the logo was so sick and it's like burned. It's like just etched into my memory as I was just like, God, that hat, that local ass hat is making this fit. Because it's like it's like the topper.
Yes.
It's like everything else that I have on is like a recognizable brand. Mm-hmm. But this is like
it back down.
Yeah, this is like what makes it, my own in a way.
I think that I usually look stupid in hats, but there's a few that I've purchased recently that I like. They're okay for me.
So what is this? The Next Waltz sound recording? How did you happen across this one?
Bruce Robeson, the world-renowned Texas singer-songwriter. This is his record label / live music company. So I did some work with Big T-Shirt Matt to help get sponsors for them for their live music event that they used to do once a quarter. So the Next Waltz is his record label, and at the Next Waltz they go out to this, what they call the bunker, out in Lockhart, this old house that he has, and they record on old school machinery. So it sounds, a little bit different, a little bit rougher than all the digital stuff that's out these days.
Okay. All right.
The Next Waltz, look them up. They've got a lot of people that record with them. I mean, there's plenty of artists that you've heard of that have been out there.
So this right here, this is the husband of an Austin blogger called Living with Leah. Uh-huh. And you can tell by their house that they're super well off. Uh-huh. And see here, this JBG Organic. This is one of the very popular ones.
I've seen that.
This was an early one for like Austin bros. And it's always dudes like this.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what they do. You never do know in Austin. These people can literally do anything. Right. And you just have no idea how they are so fucking wealthy.
Tech boys.
And
Tech bros.
And the JBG Organic. This one's probably too oversaturated. I see too many of these for them to indicate large amounts of random wealth. The new one. I always lose. I lose sight of. I never know what it is. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Do you have any idea what I mean if I talk about Chabler or Chambler?
No clue.
No clue. Okay.
Not Rambler. Not
Rambler. No. Starts with a C. They have like this little like sunburst logo of some sort. And I think it's like construction or interiors or something.
Another underground niche is Delta Millworks. Their gear is tight.
Okay.
That's literally a company here in Austin that is a woodworking company that does incredible like construction work, but they've got the merch tight.
Okay. Yeah, Delta Millworks. We know that one. We've been there and hung out. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it's got like this like sunburst logo.
All right.
And I can never remember the name. I always see it and then I try to go look it up and I found it once and I clearly didn't bookmark it well enough because I've never been able to find it again. But you'll see it. You'll know
All
it.
right.
Anyway, it's just like an indicator to me. I'm like, oh, that person is like does something fancy.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. So got that going. Speaking of Instagram, I asked you right before we popped on this podcast what your explore page looked like. Uh-huh. And the reason I'm asking that is because recently I've been I'm trying to figure out if Instagram is just so good at knowing what I'm looking for and what I've looked at and the things that I'm shopping for that it's just like populating my Explore feed to make it extremely homogenous. Because
yes, that's exactly what it's doing.
Because everybody on my Explore page looks like this now.
Yeah, that's right. Have you not seen the documentary on Netflix?
I've not watched it yet, but this is what everybody on it's like. It's this very, very homogenous look, and like I've been talked into this look. This is the look. This is a look that I'm regularly going for now because it's been Instagram is just they've incepted
burned
me.
it into
they've
your
incepted
head.
me.
Yeah.
But for those of you that are not watching on youtube.com/washmedia, it's basically, I'll start from the bottom. It's either Dunks or Nikes, and then a baggy cargo pant or a carpenter pant or vintage baggy denim, and then it is like a baggy hoodie or crew neck on top.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's one of the ones with denim. Denim hoodie. Like, so this is throw on some vintage Carhartt on top, bonus points. Some type of, here we go. Here's Cargo's Dunks.
Wait, what is this that you're on? Why is it in the feed format?
Well, because I'm here on desktop, I can't pull up my Explore page.
Oh, okay. This
so
is how it comes up?
I went to one of the ones that populates on my Explore page very frequently to serve me this look, as it were.
That's a good little site here. Good little account.
Fits on point.
Yeah.
Another one is Auschwitz, which is like a very big proponent of this whole, I don't even know what to call it. It's vintagey meets streetwear, I guess.
Yeah.
But leading into that, I did want to give a shout to a vintage store that I've discovered thanks to a
online vintage
one of the
store?
cool kids out there.
Online?
No.
All right.
Local.
Okay.
It is called Full Circle. You ever been here?
No.
Full Circle Vintage. And I popped in the other day. It's up just north of campus on Fruth Street. And very, very curated collection. And clearly they're hitting the right points. It's all like these perfect vintage black tees, all very, doesn't matter what size you try on, they're all going to fit you in like the same kind of boxy way.
What's the price point on these?
So, and here's the glorious part. So I walked out of there with this like badass vintage Harley Davidson tee with this graphic that looks like it was ripped off a Rude t-shirt, because Rude is ripping it off these old Harley t-shirts, right? Yeah. With the fit that everybody wants right now that I've preached about and talked about with this kind of boxy, kind of short, and it was $32.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So the price is right too, and they're there's one, like, you go in and there are a few tables set up with some curated stuff, some Carhartt, some Pendleton, some women's stuff, some vintage camp collar shirts, and then on the right side is all denim, organized by color, all vintage denim, mostly like Levi's and Wrangler and Lee, and on the left is like all the black t-shirts, and they have a few other colors too, but it's like there's like 150 black t-shirts.
Following.
So, and I think the most expensive t-shirt, like they have some that are true vintage band tees that are hanging up on the back wall that are in that $100 to $150 range, but at least they're not charging $300.
That's
like that.
Right. When you're over $100, just forget it.
But all the stuff they've got a lot of good vintage Harley and vintage other type vintage tees that are all in that like $28 to $42 range, which is nice to see. I mean, it's not like flea market prices.
Still, that's great.
But it's great.
Flea market, you have to put up with the BS.
Yeah.
There's another store here in town that Ashley, I told her not to go in because it was going to be too much, and she confirmed. Pavement
that just got here. Yeah. And because that's from Brooklyn, right?
Oh, is it really?
I think so.
I don't know.
Or Pavement is not an Austin original.
No.
That's a popular vintage store that just established a location here, I believe.
She said it's a complete overload.
Like too much in there?
Way too much.
Interesting.
And that's something I can't handle because I'll walk right out.
Well, so you then Full Circle you would especially like because
good.
It's very curated, very small, very limited selection, which like you said, it's nice because I was able to browse the entire store in 15 minutes.
Good.
And so I guess like back to this Instagram thing, it knows what I'm looking for now. And so because of this whole vintage thing, I've now onto this one as well, which is another vintage store that I didn't know about in Austin called Imperial.
No clue.
Yeah, and they
Oh, these are both on campus, aren't they?
probably near campus. Yeah, and so they're doing like all these vintage Carhartt stuff and like old college tees, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I haven't been in yet, but I'm gonna have to go give these guys a check out too. And final point on here. I've talked about how I miss I does these badass Yankees, Mets, Dodgers hats, right? They're these spins, and I've been like, where's my Houston gear at? Let me get a Stroh's hat. And so they're in business with Rodeo Flea Market, which has this custom Astros hat about to drop, which has all these
nice, man.
purple double cup, Colt 45s, the NASA logo.
Dude, I dig that.
And it's very cool, and I'm gonna have to try to scoop one of these bad boys. So, Instagram just doing mad work to
see. That's why I like Instagram.
To serve me up a very homogenous look that is now how I want to dress, even though the entirety of Instagram is dressing like this, and populate my feed with vintage stores that I need to go spend money in now.
I was out on Instagram after watching that documentary. Although it was telling me stuff I already knew. What the hell is it called? Social something.
The Social Dilemma, right?
Social Dilemma.
I think it's the Social Dilemma.
It's telling you stuff you already know.
Yeah.
But I was convinced that I need to delete the app, which I'm still considering. But it's great for creative. It's a great creative outlet. As far as real estate is concerned, it's a great marketing tool. Or any other business. But, I really shouldn't care, and I really don't, but it's just something to flip through, like everything else, the other bullshit that's there.
No, it's very scary. I mean, we always joke, we've joked for the last 25 years about 1984, Big Brother, like how Orwellian society has become in general with the rise of social media, and it's just like, it's full on here.
Yes.
Like there's no privacy. There's no.
Yeah, and I don't even care about the privacy. I care about it taking. It's like a binky. It's soothing. Yeah. And it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be soothing for me. I should go walk around outside.
Or read a book.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the part that I don't like.
Well, moving on here, back to some of a piece of your fit. You've got a shoe review for me today.
Yeah. Veja.
Is it Veja?
I don't know.
You think that's a silent J? It might be.
Veja?
They're out of Brazil, right?
Yeah.
So Portuguese.
It's probably Beja.
Beja.
Because that's the Spanish. They don't pronounce. They use B as for V.
Right. Well, in like some Spanish, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's kind of
anybody listening out there that knows the correct pronunciation for this.
It very well could be Veja.
Yeah.
I
highly doubt it's Veja.
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 I've always said Veja. But you're probably right. It's probably Veja.
Anyway, so as you can tell,
and tell me how'd you wind up on the Vejas?
I needed something to supplement these geese.
Yeah.
And I wanted something. All right, so what I need is simple. I need simple stuff that will go with black denim and everything else that I wear that's pretty basic. Multiple days in a row, more uniform. I'm always striving for a perfect uniform.
Yes.
And these fit the bill online, but I knew they'd be white, but fuck, they are white. But what I like about them is how the cream outsole kind of breaks it up. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And the back too, that back little guy.
Right. The heel tab and the midsole, and the midsole kind of like this creamier grayish off-white.
Yeah. And so I broke it up. The laces that came with it were like stark white. So I got these little guys, off-white laces. Where'd
you pick up your cream laces? This is also a big thing right now.
www.amazon.com.
All right. Little known place.
Yeah.
Was that a Prime deal?
They showed up like within 24 hours. I'm trying to wear these at work, and I'm doing the best I can to fuck them up.
Okay.
I'm thinking about like going on hikes with them.
Okay.
That's how bad I want to break these in. They're stiff.
Okay.
And
All right.
I want some character on these things.
Yeah.
I'm past the point of returning them, obviously.
Right.
When I first tried them on, I was considering a return. But
Because they're very stiff.
just because they're too white.
Too white. Yeah.
They're too white.
I mean, yeah, and it's not even an all-white shoe. You got the even the little V logo is like not crispy white.
So it was between this and they have another one that is more like a New Balance colorway where it's got the gray back here and like the gray up here.
Right.
And that to me just looked too much like a New Balance.
Too sport. Well, and also a little too sporty, right?
Yeah.
Like a little too athletic.
So we'll see. I mean, I'm obviously keeping them, but they've got a long way to go, Barrett. These things need to be really screwed up.
Yeah.
For me to appreciate them. I've seen guys wearing these around that look so much more comfortable than what I'm dealing with here.
Yeah. I think with white leather too. For some reason I feel like even like with a common project.
Yeah.
The white leather is always so stiff.
Yeah.
The other ones that have been treated more with the color and the dye and all that, they're just. I just have a sense that they're easier on the break in.
Right.
So.
I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, and I mean I think it's a solid, it's a good looking shoe.
Yeah,
you know
they have a lot of good options. Initially you get drawn to the pop of color here that they have on some of them, like greens and blues and reds.
Sure.
But that's not what I needed these for. I need a uniform shoe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'll work out. I'm just a little buyer's remorse, but I'm all in now.
Yeah.
Too late.
You gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
I think the lace swap was a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move on. We will jump into to this conversation about reps and all that. But first, let's take a quick break and hear from a sponsor. This fall, as you get back into the swing of things, Bespoke Post has brand new seasonal Box of Awesome collections for guys. These are guaranteed to upgrade your life. I'm looking through the boxes right now. I wanted to highlight the Buzzed box because it's fall, which means beers, buzzed, bros, football, wings, Cornell, Hofstra, Slaughter. But you got the Buzzed box here, which is based on the Bee Sting cocktail. So when you get this one in, you'll have to jump on the Discord then and tell us all about it in Phil's Cocktail Corner. But you get some honey roasted peanuts. You get like a couple of cool coupe glasses, plus like some honey liqueur or bitters. I mean, it's you get there's a bowl for the peanuts.
Look at that. That's a great little package.
It's a whole cocktail setup for you. Which
one?
The
glasses? That's beautiful.
I know. There's the steam box, get you a towel and some toothbrushes, make your bathroom look a little bit better. You got Destination, which has a cool little zip-up thing, foldable bag / duffel that lets you roll up a suit all nice. I've already told you guys about the Over Easy, which is you get a whole dang cast iron skillet on this one. There's so much to choose from. It's crazy. Bespoke Post only sends guys the best stuff every month. No matter what you're into, Box of Awesome has you covered. From style and grooming goods to barware, cooking tools, outdoor gear, Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. To get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of these different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel at any time. Each box costs only $45, but it has over $70 worth of gear inside. Every one of them I've got. It feels like it's at least $100 of gear and cool stuff. Mm-hmm. Always feels like I'm getting just way more value than the $45. And you can get 20% off of your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code CLUBCOOL at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com. The code is CLUBCOOL for 20% off of your first box. All right, Phil. So here is how I got started thinking about this. I'm not like a big Redditor.
Nah, I can't mess with it.
But I peruse every now and then, and there's like a couple of subreddits that I'll check out once a week or so. Mm-hmm. And they, the Circling Back has a very and Wash Media has a very active Reddit that I check in on, and IMA has a Reddit that bubbles up with some stuff that's interesting every now and then. And so through one or two of these or both or somewhere, I eventually stumbled on subreddits for what are called reps. And so I've got 3 listed here for us that are ones that I've stumbled on. There's fashion rep, there's R fashion reps, R rep sneakers, and R designer reps.
Uh-huh.
These are subreddits dedicated to the production of fake luxury goods.
Crazy.
So we are not on Harwin at Charmin Charlie's sneaking into the back room to look at fake Louis Vuitton purses anymore. We're not on the street in New York with the blankets rolled out to buy your fake Rolexes or your fake
Oakleys,
your fake Gucci belt. We're not at the gas station, which has the little rolly, spinny thing of a bunch of Folkleys. Like, we're full on into dedicated groups of people that are utilizing overseas factories to knock off luxury goods. And it is clearly like a booming business based on the activity that goes on these threads. And the reps, the replicas, they all look very, very good. And it's part of the reason why this is like a semi-concerning issue is because I got no idea how some Joe Schmo off the street that's hired as a StockX authenticator is picking up minor differences between.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all made in Vietnam or China or like.
And that's where the factories are for the real.
That's
ones
what I'm saying.
Right.
That's right. They're all exactly like they're all being made in similar factories. They're clearly like able to pull the molds off. So you've got. And these reps, these are not cheap. They're not cheap either. Yeah. Like I came across a thread where people were going to do the Off-White 4s, and they were going to be like $300 or $400. But you're talking about $1,600 on StockX.
Man.
So it's all very interesting. This rep one especially because you start digging into why this has happened, and you can kind of just say that this is Nike's own fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are so dedicated to continuing their own hype cycle, to making every single shoe that hits sneakers an instant sellout, to producing so limited numbers of every sneaker that anybody wants, to keeping it so tight on a Jordan 1 release, on a Jordan 4 release, on an Off-White release, on whatever it may be, that you're basically... Like, when you do that and when you're as big as Nike and when the number of people that want your item are so priced out or so unable to even get one or two things from you, right? That, like, this is the market that springs up.
That's right. You reap what you sow.
Yeah. There's so much pent-up demand for the hyped-up goods that Nike is peddling that you've got entire internet communities dedicating to illegally knocking it all off.
Right. Correct.
So it's...
But in doing it very well, too.
Yeah.
Which is, it's crazy. They have to have picked off people from the actual factories to come over there.
Yeah.
To work for them.
I mean, yes, with either prior experience in some of these factories, I mean, with the way stuff goes on,
right.
like I've been, when we were at... we were at Rowdy Gentleman with Grand X, and I remember we did this like flag design that Carter did. We had it on Hawaiian shirts. We had it on swim trunks. I was at Magic Sourcing, walking around at vendors, and came across a vendor that we had never used before, and they had our print up there.
Wow!
On a sample garment. So like the factories also are very connected. And so they have extra fabric. They're just like they're moving it around.
Yeah.
They're reselling it in a different market or passing it off to another factory that can use it for sample goods or like what have you. So there's even like, I mean, I don't know, but if you got friends at the various factories, oh hey, let me get that mold for the sole of the Jordan 4, and then we'll figure out the color and the rest of the paneling and the stitching or whatever. Like, because this is clearly. Like I said, this is super lucrative for whoever is at the top doing this. And we haven't even discussed like what the ethics are here of buying into reps, because on one hand it's like it's very understandable. Like
Yes,
it's
very understandable.
Like as somebody that has spent a lot of money on clothes and on luxury goods and on sneakers and is, paying very close attention to the drops. Like I haven't hit like a big sneakers drop in almost a year now. So, and there's like pretty much one a week.
So now you're just itching. Maybe you're going to be in the red.
No, I'm not because then that's the next piece of the discussion here is like what like there is. Then we're just talking about why you want these sneakers as much as you do, which typically boils down to this exact thing that we're talking about.
Yes.
Like the hype is what drives the desire. The desire to keep in, to fit in with everybody that's posting the dunks on Instagram and the homogenous fits, to keep up with your Reddit thread, to your Reddit thread where everybody has it. Like they have something, you want it, you can't get it. The itch crawls in, and you'll do anything to replicate the feeling. But beyond that, there is you have to be okay with the idea that you are walking around essentially for show at that point.
Yeah.
You're basically really admitting and acknowledging that the only reason you have this thing on is so that other people see what you have on and are like giving you some type of non-existent kudos because you have a limited sneaker.
Because you're saying that the quality is obviously not the same as the real.
No, I'm saying that like I'm saying that it's gone beyond the like why would you wear a fake Rolex?
Yeah.
Because you want people to think you have a Rolex.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like the quality of that fake Rolex is probably not even close to the real thing. So you just want to peacock.
Yeah, I mean, there's no care if you wear a fake Rolex.
Yeah.
You're not caring about the craftsmanship or the story or the quality, or the fact that you did make a big purchase, that you had to dedicate a lot of money to this individual purchase, or that you had to make some sacrifices and sell a bunch of stuff. Like there's no, you're essentially cheating your way into the end result, which is the admiration from others for what you own.
Right.
With none of the
in between.
either the luck, work, preparation of getting it in the first place.
Yeah. That makes
sense. It's just a weird thing. Now at the same time, like I understand that a lot of the stuff that we talk about, especially when we get into the hyped goods and the keeping up with your friends and all that, it's a lot of young people are the ones who it kind of like torments the most, I guess. That need to keep up. And so when all of this becomes so unattainable, then for the young people especially, like who are just you're in high school, you feel this desperate desire to have something from Off-White and Nike, like you spend $300 on the reps, like you have it, like it's also hard to hate on that.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
a way,
I agree.
Because it goes back to the whole like Nike built this.
Yeah.
They created the monster, so they have to deal with the other monsters that pop up because of it to combat it. So I was mostly just surprised at how deep the web goes and how many different products the rep makers are knocking off at this point. And just because like we said up top, like the versions of this that we dealt with were so low fidelity in comparison, right?
I had some fake Oakleys from my first trip to the big city, the Big Apple. I was dead set on finding some, and I did, and they were shit.
And also just like, God, the power of Reddit, man. There's literally a subreddit for
everything,
anything and everything.
I don't even know how to navigate Reddit, thankfully.
Yeah, it's not intuitive. Well, it's not. It's honestly not that difficult once you understand what.
It's just not clean.
It's just not
like
clean.
A lot of the other platforms.
It's very much like you're looking at like HTML or something.
Exactly.
So,
you still in the TikTok game or what?
Once Trump told me that it was bad news, I said, "Yeah, I'm out."
Yeah, good.
I'm out.
Good for you.
Yeah, I can't.
Proactive.
I can't give all my information to the Chinese Party communists. I don't know. I feel like people are struggling for content on TikTok at this point. The last few times I've been on there, it hasn't hit the same way. I don't know why. I'll give it another go.
Okay. You still haven't made any submissions?
No, I've not made any TikToks.
Now that
yet.
I want to see.
I don't look. I don't mean to throw Laura under the bus here, but I don't have an Instagram girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's not down with like helping me make content. She's
Good
not
for
team.
her.
She's not team content.
Good for her.
She's not team content.
Good.
And that's
She's not going to be in the bathroom with you doing those dumbass wipe videos
no.
where you're going to be switching outfits. Huh?
I'm gonna have to figure out how to do them myself.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, a couple others that I wanted to turning your Chrysler 300 into a Bentley with the Bentley grill.
That's very prevalent in Southeast Texas.
Or even they made kits like Ferrari kits that you could basically strip the body parts off of a car and put on like a Ferrari kit.
Sick.
Also ones I remember. Okay, so moving on. So there's the reps. Truly people knocking off luxury goods. They are fake. They are not real. You're still spending a lot of money on them, and then you're showing off your fake goods. Now, another little subcategory that has popped up here, one of the other monsters that I've talked about, is I don't know what to call them except for homages. They've essentially figured a way around being a straight up fake. And so here is a popular Instagram brand. It's called Ori NYC. They've done Yankee hats and hoodies and tees that are popular. I think they're pretty popular up in New York. This is a Jordan 1 that they had. Like everything about this is a Jordan 1 high.
This isn't a collaboration. This is them doing their own thing.
Yes, and they have changed the swoosh to be the Statue of Liberty. Huh. Another, probably an even more well-known one is here. It's Fugazi LA. This is a Jordan 1 in every sense of the word. They changed the swoosh to an upside-down revolver pistol.
Huh.
This one here, this is Warren Lotus, another streetwear brand. He has essentially knocked off a Nike SB Dunk. And let's see, where'd my thing go? Where'd it go?
And it's on Hypebeast, though.
Yeah, because that's like,
I think these are cool. Out of all these fakes, that's pretty dope. That's
because the interesting thing here is that, yeah, like Warren Lotus he makes streetwear. He has a relatively popular streetwear brand, and this is, I mean, he's getting respect for like putting this spin on the Nike Dunk.
I mean, does Nike not sue every one of these people?
So Warren Lotus is the one that got sued by Nike today.
Okay, good.
And he also, so this was the first one that he did, and then he also did this one. There's a very popular Nike Dunk that I think resales for like $10,000 now. It's the Pigeons.
Yeah.
The Jeff Staple Pigeons.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they re-release that?
And so he did. They did a Warren Lotus version of the Pigeon Dunks, which Jeff Staple co-signed. Here they are right here.
Oh, yeah. Now, this was with Nike?
No. Again, this Jeff Staple, who is like has a Nike deal and is the inspiration behind the Pigeon Dunks, basically like signed off on Warren Lotus using the Pigeon logo.
Wow. And
doing this Jason Voorhees fake dunk.
Interesting.
Now, the reason that I am guessing that Warren Lotus has been picked off here by Nike in front of Fugazi or Ori is because what Nike really hates when you do is emulate the swoosh.
Yeah.
So
right.
by dumping the swoosh, I think Fugazi and Ori have bought themselves some time, essentially.
Good point.
Now, these are, I mean, they start cranking these out and making a ton of money off these.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jordan has to come for them.
Yeah.
You can't, I don't think you can let this slide or else you're just asking for more and more of these to bubble up. Like this is a shoe that everybody wants. Every single colorway that releases essentially sells out immediately. The Dunk's super hot right now. but he barely changed the swoosh. He basically added a face to the swoosh. So he put himself in the crosshairs. These shoes are still selling out, and not to mention, just like the reps, they're selling for like $300.
Yeah.
Just off top. So
he had to have known all of this going into it, that this is how it would play out.
So, now we're, as we move forward here into these versions of Dunks and Jordans, which are very clearly the exact same silhouette with essentially one thing tweaked. We're kind of hyping these up. They're appearing on Hypebeast. People are buying them like crazy, and it's all out in the open, right? It's very proud. You're not on the rep subreddit pretending to get something that's not quite real.
Mm-hmm.
So we're lending these credibility.
And they'll have their own following around those shoes too, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think that if I saw those in the streets, I would have a double take and be like, man, those are kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. And so then we got to start talking about where's the line. Because like the Amiri scale tops, that's just a Jordan 1 too.
Yeah.
He just put a skeleton foot instead of the Nike swoosh and made it all in premium materials.
What about Louis Vuitton? Virgil knocked off.
Yeah, all the old basketball shoes, the Filas or whatever. So it's like the more, it's almost just like the more open you are about it and the more you charge for it, like with the Amiris, which are like $700, the more it's like, okay, right? It's like, oh, well, you made a premium version. Whereas the reps are like, you made a lower quality version.
Yeah, right.
And it's just, Hender Scheme is one.
Those are crazy.
That their entire thing. It's just making like premium leather versions of
go to the Chucks,
an Air Force One or a Doc Martin or there's a Jordan 4, a Vans slip-on.
It's wild,
right? So now the Hender Scheme eventually did work with Adidas. They did a collaboration.
Look at those Chucks.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So. Right? And here, like, look, we're getting away with this because this is an $800 all-leather premium vegetable tanned shoe. But, did they do enough to be any different than like a low-quality knockoff? Like, why are we okay with the more expensive version?
Why do they get a pass?
Yeah. And I guess because they at least did bring a different look to it. Like if you were going lower quality with the reps, but you were ripping off the swooshes or something, and then kind of like making it a statement that they were reps, you might not be in line for the criticism of supporting quote unquote fakes. So yeah, man. Then this leads to the next logical place, which is the clothing as well.
Yeah.
And brands like Minimal.
That's wild.
Is Minimal something that populates on your Instagram at all?
No, I've never heard of them until you brought this to my attention.
So Minimal has taken over by buying up and sponsoring influencers. So
smart.
You'll be cruising your IG and you'll see a guy that like has the right fit on. And then has like the shorts with the long drawstrings, and you're like, "Oh, he's got those Fear of God shorts." And then they're tagged Minimal.
They've knocked off the Fear of God cargos too. $54.
This is a guy that pops up all the time. For some reason, I can't stand him. He has 34,000 followers. His name is Paul Fuentebella. He has all the hype in the world. Off-white 4s, blah blah blah.
Oh, nice.
Shorts, Minimal.
Yeah.
This is the one that I could not stand. You recognize the shirt?
Go ahead.
It's the Phoebe Philo Celine shirt that Kanye wore at Coachella 7 years ago or whatever it was. Minimal.
And it looks like he just unboxed it too. See how all the creases are still in it.
And then and I'm like, okay, well, somebody's going to call him out in the comments for this being bullshit, right? This is such an now you've truly taken like the pattern and the design and like really like a unique thing that Phoebe Philo did for Celine that Kanye made famous. Nothing. Everybody's just like, oh, sick drip, bro.
Flames.
Fire, fuego, flames.
Such
nice
an
fit,
awesome
bro.
shirt.
Such an awesome shirt. Flames. and it's tough because you can't. this goes to this weird legal loophole where fashion is not considered art and is therefore not protected by intellectual property and copyright laws.
Mm-hmm.
So Minimal can do this all day long. They can go knock off the Rude track pants and the Celine shirt and the Balenciaga like padded over shirt here, and like they could just do this all day long. The John Elliott camo practice shorts here, which another rip. I mean, it's just like I don't even need to pull up Minimal because this guy just literally wears everything that they make. Long drawstring, like these are probably a Rude knockoff or something like that. And I don't like this. I don't like the idea of a brand making this cheap trash and not even having to put in work for the designs.
Right.
And then at the same time, I like have the argument with myself. Well, it's like, man, these kids want these clothes. It's inaccessible,
unattainable. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not gonna pay $700 for some tuxedo ass track pants.
Yeah.
And so like to that end, like I get it. Like you want the look, you want the item. Minimal offers it for you at 10% of the price. Mm-hmm. So it's just very. I've been going back and forth with myself about like the overall ethics of all of this because on one hand I understand that what buying into fashion can do to you from the perspective of like needing items, needing to fit in, feeling that like that crazed pull of like needing to buy crazy expensive stuff. And so, maybe Minimal is saving kids from $10,000 worth of credit card debt. I don't know. But at the same time, it's really like unfair in a way that they're not doing any work. Mm-hmm. That what they have is a production line to an inexpensive factory and can hit super high minimums and make cheap knockoffs. Mm-hmm. And that kind of sucks too.
Yeah.
So really crazy out there what this has all become in the pursuit of Johns and fire fits.
Yeah.
For the Grom.
Johns. I still don't understand what that means.
Johns?
Yeah. What is that an acronym of? What is it derived from?
That's a great question. Actually, I
save that.
I feel like I know this, but I'm not totally sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
It's in the dictionary though.
Urban Dictionary?
No,
dictionary?
The actual dictionary.
Wow, that's something.
Apparently it's Eastern. It's from Eastern Pennsylvania. Used to refer to a thing, place, person, or event that one need not or cannot give a specific name to.
Huh.
Just
ain't that something?
An item of desire. Okay. What you think? We got time to hit some women's fashion?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's talk first about Stag's little spinoff.
Man.
Because you checked out their new shop, Daughters. They have a little section on the website if you want to look through some of their stuff.
Yeah.
Newly opened location on South Congress, which is great, by the way, because it opened up that section of regular Stag, which is now all like Mon Italy and Capitol and Chamala, which is like the dopest stuff in the store.
So what I really, every time I would go to Stag previously and they had the little Daughters section, I would find myself like really, really intrigued by everything over there. Because
same feeling that you had when you were in Free People, right?
Right. Similar. And now that they've got their own store, it's even better. And the reason is because so this was part of the experience that we had in there was fantastic, and also the selection. They have obviously a woman working there and also a dude. And he wears the stuff.
Okay.
He wears lots of Capital. And we were having a conversation, and he and I were going through the racks of the Capital stuff and other things as well, and he was showing me how he wears it, things that can be reversed. Like Capital has a lot of jackets that aren't reversible, but they are.
Yeah.
And anyway, they have a not huge, but much larger selection of Capital at the women's store Daughters than they do at Stag. A lot of it can be worn by you and I. Mm-hmm. If you're a bigger dude, it might be a little snug.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's. I definitely need to go by there. nice little row of shops there that I haven't been in with the new Outdoor Voices and the new location of Billy Reed. Plus, I gotta cop some of that Jenny's ice cream.
Ooh, that's some expensive stuff, and I haven't had it yet, but I've heard it's worth every penny.
Jenny's, they carry it in the grocery stores, like you see it at
we have it
Central Market, Tom's, and it's like there's just something about, I know that quantity wise, paying like $8 or $9 for the pint is probably a better deal than going into the store, but like I can't do a $9 pint of ice cream. I just can't.
It's 13 at Tom's, bro.
Oh my God, that's that Tom's markup.
Yeah. Or $11.95. I can't recall.
Maybe it is. Maybe I'm thinking of like Lick. I think goes for $8 or $9
we
a
do
pint.
Ben and Jerry's at $6.95 a pint.
So that's almost 100% markup from a grocery store. Ben and Jerry's.
Is it?
Yeah, Ben and Jerry's is like $3.99 at a HEB or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tom's is
it's convenient.
It's a luxury convenience store.
Right.
Like that's what everybody knows that going in. Nobody's going in for like the thrifty
the sale items.
This grocery shopping at Tom's. It's like, oh man, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
I gotta have that Ben and Jerry's or that Jenny's. Anyway, I'm happy to go into Jenny's and like have them give me the scoop and the cone and the whole shebang, and like if that's $7, whatever. But I can't do the $10 pint of ice cream.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Daughters on Stag, really cool stuff. Every time I'm in Stag, I'm always very impressed with everything that they do, the brand selection. There's I've been getting some questions about flannels, and pop into the Discord. I've given lots of recommendations for like flannels like in the $100 price range, whether it's Madewell or Alex Mill or Portuguese flannel. But a bunch of great stuff, and on if you get slightly more expensive than that, and there's a new I always find new brands at Stag. Like the new one that they're carrying is called Cato, which is mostly like made in the U.S. and like really just like awesome chunky flannels. And now they're carrying the stuff like Capital too, which is really cool to see. So the Daughter stuff is right in line with that. If you kind of like that Southwestern Western kind of vibe. Great stuff. Did Ashley find anything in there? She
found a T-shirt. I don't recall who makes it. It's a
Mm-hmm.
cool little, real soft tie-dye vintage shirt that has a little screen on it with some mushrooms.
Mushrooms, big in graphics right now.
Yeah.
So I wanted to point out, here are some trends that I feel like I'm seeing. And again, these are the ones where like I said, these are blending over from, or vice versa, but these are similar trends to men. So I feel kind of lame calling these particular ones out because I think my brain is just catching them because I'm used to seeing them on the men's side, but not skinny denim.
Yeah.
High-waisted, a little bit more rigid, not as much stretch. They don't hug your leg all the way down to the ankle. More straight leg, a lot of raw hems.
I've seen some very attractive bell bottoms, which I was not high on, but now I've seen them done correctly.
Yep.
Straight up bell bottom, like big time.
Like flares.
Yes.
Yep. Very like lug sole, chunky ass Chelsea boots. The Blundstone is the one that everybody knows that's like super functional and you can beat the shit out of, and they're not crazy priced. But then there are a million offshoots of that as well. Whether you're looking for like something that's a little bit more like outdoorsy feeling, like with the hiking vibes, or whether you want like a suede or like a white leather Chelsea boot with a big ass sole. There's quite a bit of that as well. Here, this was one of my favorite men's sites. I liked what they carried, but also they got great women's stuff. So like, here's these Princess Schoolers. I'm seeing a ton of this.
Those are cool.
Like kind of like Doc Martin definitely is making these.
Yeah.
But definitely, a little less sleek than it's been in the past. And then here's like a knee-high boot, but it's massive sole. Again, here's one that blends more into that hiking range from Miu Miu.
It's like a Yeezy.
Yeah, it does. It does look like a Yeezy. So I'm pulling off a Moda, so it's all designer stuff, but this also trickles down into some of the more contemporary and mainstream that you'll see out there. And then oversized tops.
Yeah.
Very loose, relaxed sweaters. And silkier tops that are kind of like either like kind of in line with the bell bottom, that 70s kind of flowy fit, or even just like straight up like a boyfriend fit almost.
And crop tops, those have been hot for a while, but
yeah.
I've
But
seen a lot of that.
like something that's like very cropped, but then everything else is like very.
Yes.
It's like you take a men's hoodie.
Yeah, and just like.
And then just chop it off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That type of look. Stuff that is not in men's. It seems like there's a lot of like micro floral prints.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like big, like, hibiscus, rose,
Yeah.
like larger, almost more like Hawaiian aloha style, very small little ditzy prints
Mm-hmm.
in floral. And then color wise, the colors right now feel very reflective of like the leaves on trees,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like is a weird, an obvious thing to say for fall, but ton of burnt orange.
Mm-hmm.
Burnt orange comes and goes. What's different now is that I see it paired with like a ruby jewel red tone right now.
Yeah.
So there's this combo with and so it's not burgundy. It's more saturated and a little bit brighter than that. So, but I think that combo of like a very earthy fall tone with something that's like a little bit more flavorful and jewel colored.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that's like an emerald or ruby, and then paired with like an ochre or sienna brown or rust,
Yeah.
burnt orange, stuff like that. I love burnt orange on women.
Yeah.
It's weird in men's clothing because I always feel like I'm getting dressed to go to a football game.
Yeah.
Like I can't separate it. I can't separate it from the alma mater colors,
Mm-hmm.
which is just my cross to bear, Phil.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
In the same way, I love burgundy. I love wine colors for men and women. I can't wear it.
I can't either.
Texas A&M, I can't do it.
Oh, that's not reasonable.
I feel like I'm going. I feel like I'm going to the Aggies game.
I just don't. I don't think I look well. I look good in it. I did. Now that being said, John Elliott had that nice burgundy hoodie
Mm-hmm.
like 2 years ago that I
Mhm.
almost pulled trigger on.
Why can't you just don't think you look good in it?
No, I don't have a lot of it though. I'm gonna give it another run.
Okay. Are you seen any other trends out there that you wanted to mention? Anything that Ashley is particularly into right now?
She's always been into vintage stuff.
Yeah.
I
think vintage across the board big right now.
Yeah.
If you can find something vintage, whether it's like 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s, that is that's on trend for sure.
She's had some luck on Etsy recently
Okay.
with vintage stuff.
Yeah. Is she like doing measurements? She taking measurements of clothes that she likes? Or is she just kind
I
of
don't
like
think so. She's
going,
winging it.
She's winging it on
Yeah.
size?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I know that women's sizing can definitely be tricky.
Yeah. The vintage, that's a common thread for she and I, but she's more patient in the vintage store than I am, so she can find more stuff.
Yeah. And then so just to add on to this, I wanted to throw out a couple of brands. So the first one that I've recommended this one to a couple of different girls now and gotten really good responses.
Mm-hmm.
It's Cezanne.
Yeah.
They did a pop-up here in Austin a while back, and it is like, I think the best way that I know how to describe that I was describing it to somebody. It's bohemian in almost like an anthropology way,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to scare you off with the anthropology word because I know that anthropology is not what it once was in women's fashion. But just in that way that it's like a lot of layering and like a lot of like, it's still feminine.
Yeah.
But it's basically been like refracted through a very European, like French, Italian, cool girl elegance.
Yeah.
And I just love the way I like the way they've styled. I like the way everything looks. There's a lot of denim pieces, but a lot of oversized like blouses and sweaters that I just all think looks really, really good, especially for fall. They're doing. Here's a great example of of the color combo that I was talking about here on their site, like a very classic fall earthy olive brown, and then this bright pop of like jewel purple.
Yeah, I dig that.
Right. So it's that combo of earthy and then bright and then kind of bright.
Also, the multiple thin gold necklaces are back. I thought that went away and is back.
Yeah.
It never went away, did it?
Not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's some of that kind of like mini floral that I
Yeah.
was talking about. So Cezanne, really like that. Check it out if you've never heard of it. And then one that you probably have heard of, Aritzia.
Mm-hmm.
I see this pop up all the time. It's kind of like they just seem to have everything, and the price is like pretty good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know Reformation has been in some hot water recently, but I still really like what they churn out. I think Reformation, and more than any other brand, like has the best blend of like very casual and wearable, and yet everything still has like a sexiness to it, basically. And then I got to mention John Elliott's women's line.
Yeah.
Because I think it's better than the men's now.
It is nice, though, isn't it?
It's super nice. It's more expensive. And I know for a fact that there is not that it's a secret or anything, but John is not designing the women's line. They have a women's designer who has like experience at Alexander Wang, and
Really?
I think another label as well that is leading that charge. So it's not surprising that it's a little bit more cohesive and a little bit more like intentional and just it just makes more sense than John's line right now. John's out there pairing tailwinds with like leather jeans.
Yeah, the leather jeans.
It's weird. And then last one that I'll mention here is Club Monaco, which I think occasionally goes overlooked out of the mall brands in favor of stuff like Madewell and J. Crew and Urban Outfitters or wherever. But still really, really like easy wearable. You know, Club Monaco is owned by Ralph Lauren.
I did not know that.
So it's basically like Ralph Lauren with the prep ripped out.
That's great to know. That's why those shorts that I bought from them are so short.
Yeah. Woo. But even on the men's side, it's like it's. Do you get you know what you get?
Yes.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's very polo-ish. It's very, traditional, but clean cuts and minimal and cool, but still has cool prints and but then none of the pastels or polo horses
or sure.
Exactly. So it's kind of the same thing with the women's line, and they run good sales, especially around the holidays, and even when they're not, they typically have like. They'll always they're not as bad about like or good or whatever you want to call it. They're not quite like J. Crew, where it's just every single day is just a different code for essentially the same sale. But
I'll take it.
Many weeks of the year, they are doing some type of like 20% off your purchase of $125 or something like that. So you can certainly get in there and grab what you're looking for under the stated retail price. Any further brands to add to this list?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what I got for women's fashion.
The women's rundown.
That's what I'm seeing.
I'll let you know if I pull trigger on anything at Daughters, but
I'm gonna go by there very soon.
You should.
Yeah. And
if nothing else, go get a Capital scarf or whatever. Do they call it a bandana?
A bandana. Yeah. Here, okay. I'll do that. Here's why I've got an issue with Capital. Right now.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Have we talked about this before?
No.
Go on Capital's Japanese website, which is easily accessible from the World Wide Web, and go look at the stuff that you like, and then have your little currency converter over on the side, and type in the JPY to USD, and like they are doubling the prices at everywhere they carry it in the States. So you're
saying the website.
I'm saying Capital in Japan is half the price of Capital in America. It is not nearly as expensive as the stateside stores that carry it are making it out to be.
The guy that worked at Daughters told me that when they went over there to look at the new line, that they just like racked up.
Yes,
suitcase full.
Absolutely,
because of that.
And when I can get back to Japan, like it is. I've been once for a few days, didn't get to got a good taste of it, but didn't get like a full experience, didn't get to do like a lot of the cool shopping that I would do now. I mean,
you're going in.
I'm bringing a duffel to come back stuffed with Capital.
Yeah.
Because I'm dead serious. Like Stag's carrying like the crew, like a crew neck sweatshirt, like one of the Bones ones, right? And it's like $550. It's like $275 on Capital's website. So I mean, there's probably I'm going to figure this out eventually, how to do some type of Japanese proxy service, because even if somebody wants $100 to proxy and ship, it's still, if you buy a few items, you're still gonna save a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Because I can't like, I want to support Stag. I would love to have something from Capital, but I can't do the knowledge thing. It's like the knowledge that I just paid double for this.
Had you not known, you'd be more susceptible to making the purchase.
Yes. Yeah.
I agree, because you're just knowing that you're getting hiked.
Yeah. Now the only downside of this is that the Capital sizing is also all over the place.
I can imagine.
They're one of the new fall pieces is a Fair Isle sweater with the bone embroidery on the sleeves and on the back. And Stag has it, and I tried it on in a 1, so a Japanese size 1, which is a small, and like I looked like the Marshmallow Man.
No shit.
Yeah, it was like so. And it's all that, like, all of it is like that very weird Japanese oversized fit. I understand that, but like, had I been like, I gotta have that, I love that, it's the Japanese price, I'll take it. I would have gotten it here, and then I would have not been happy with the fit. So, I'll try to do a little bit. I'm gonna keep my eye out more for women's, so that we can talk about some more of the stuff that I'm seeing, because I've definitely gotten some requests for it. But I think that's a good start for today.
Yeah, I agree.
And hopefully I mentioned, for any of our lady listeners out there, hopefully I mentioned a brand, or at least one brand or trend that you haven't thought about yet. So, anything else for us today, Phil?
No.
Man, great episode.
Yeah.
Thank you. You can support the podcast, of course, by checking out Bespoke Post, our lovely sponsor today, with tons of cool boxes. Boxofawesome.com. Use that code CLUBCOOL for 20% off your purchase. You can support the podcast directly at patreon.com/clubcool. It's $2 a month to help fund this podcast, to get a cool editorial every month. And even if you don't become a paying patron, go follow us on Patreon. I just sent out a new Discord link a couple days ago. I'll send out another one pretty soon here. The Discord is
it's popping off, isn't it?
It pops, man. And I'll tell you this. Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, my other podcast, far more Patreon subscribers.
Not as active.
Far fewer Discord members. Like, we're at, let's see, what are we at here? We are at like 100, almost 150 Discord members.
And congrats to the Uniform LA winner. Did you do that last week?
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, but shout out to everybody for getting involved in that. That was cool.
Yeah, and I hope we
did some business for him.
I think we did. I definitely think we did, based off of what people were saying in the Discord. And I was very pleased, because I think the two people that got the gift cards are people that like genuinely were stoked on the brand and on the podcast, and wanted to participate and support. So it's always nice when the random generator picker online website thing works out like that. But thank you to everybody that participated. We got to do some more giveaways.
For sure.
I got some brewing, so we'll try to come up with more of those, because they're fun. They're good.
Who knows? I might be giving away these shoes. Put those out there.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back very soon. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Welcome to the club.